One legend had him swimming around in the pools of ancient time. Certainly he looked like a living fossil, with his scaly skin and his long, thin body encrusted from head to tail with many fragments of crystal, which gave his species its commonly known name, the crystalback. Fully uncoiled, he would reach at least 6 feet in length. An overgrown electric eel, perhaps, crossed with an axolotl and a boa constrictor. Oh yes, and a television receiver. A single tap on the glass was enough. Mr. Carmichael switched himself on in a burst of noise and colour. Cady was hoping for another message from Lord Pettifer, but instead the tank's water quivered with images drawn from local news broadcasts and the live entertainment circuits. Footage of the preparations for the Hesting Festival, quips from the wireless comedy show Much Wittering in the Murk, snippets from private telephone calls. "Oh, Ethel, you should have heard him," all mixed in with the Prime Minister's address to the nation, and even glimpses of the stage shows of Tolly-Hoo. Wherever a crystal sent out a message in the city, Mr. Carmichael picked it up and amplified it, and swam about within it, his own crystals sparkling and crackling as they received the incoming signals. Cady sat down on a 3-legged stool and watched the display idly. The sound of the boat's propeller lulled her as it always did, especially at this slow, steady speed, until her whole body was in rhythm with the vessel, and she started to drift away. Only the 6 remaining buds remained as areas of irritation, and once noticed they started to itch like glory. "Lud damn you! Unfurl your colours, why don't you? Blossom forth and maybe attract a nice butterfly or two. I have to get myself pollinated, and soon." But such thoughts only made her more frustrated. She stood up and balanced herself on the stool somewhat precariously and threw a handful of dried shrimp into the tank. Mr. Carmichael snapped them up. Seen from above, the surface of the water appeared as a ruffled screen of different colours, shapes, images. The sounds of a ruby-voiced newscaster rose from the water. "The festival is all set to start in little more than an hour." Electric flashes arced across from one side of the tank to the other. Cady was fascinated. Her buds seemed to be moving under their hard calyxes, perhaps stirred by the proximity of the electrical charge. Before she even knew what she was doing, her hands, both of them, had entered the water down to the elbows. Yes, that was good. Maybe what she needed was a shock to the system to get herself flowering, like a spark plug firing up a motor vehicle's engine. Mr. Carmichael's body writhed around her forearms, his sleek flesh giving way to the sharp crystals on his back, each sensation alternating rough and smooth. The tank's imagery played around her fingers. She was dipping her hands into the very fabric of the city, grabbing the mystical telephone wires and the radio signals and the television waves and feeding off them. The itchiness had vanished in the haze of the messages. No more pain, no more queasiness, no more effing bloody palpitations of the never-you minds. Arcadia watchwoman Meade was far too old to be brooding for offspring. So it was a lovely feeling to be free of all needs, comforted by the flow of sounds and pictures that Mr. Carmichael shared with her. But her mood changed as the water turned black, jet black, and all the projected pictures vanished, and the voices fell silent. Cady was standing on tippy-toes on the rickety stool. She reached down further into the filthy water, seeking comfort. The water turned thick and treacly, and it clutched at her arms, perhaps to pull her under. Always one to follow an impulse, Cady bent over at the waist and lowered her head into the liquid, keeping her eyes open, even as the weeds and bits of shrimp got into them. She'd been given the crystal back as a present. What was it now, 7, 8 years ago? Yes, before the war, certainly. But this was the first time she'd looked into the water, really looked, face submerged. Mr. Carmichael lay at the bottom of the tank.